Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Gridiron Across the U.S. podcast, episode 15 today. The viewer hotline, it might just be the friends we made along the way. This is going to be our Super Bowl preview because the Super Bowl is on Sunday and we can't go without talking about it. So in this episode, we're going to dig into keys to the game, predictions, and of course, why this is the least anticipated Super Bowl matchup I can think of. Kevin, are you excited for the Super Bowl?
No,
Easy way to put
gonna
it.
be honest. What?
Easy way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's two good teams, but I'm just it's just a case of the worst of both worlds now because either I'm rooting for the Eagles, and as someone who lives in New Jersey and putting up with the most obnoxious fan base in all of sports on a 24/7 basis after they're winning a championship seems miserable, but I'm not rooting for the Chiefs. So puts me in a hard spot to actually watch the game.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat there. I don't want the Chiefs to win. I don't want the Eagles to win. But nevertheless, I'm still going to watch the Super Bowl. I think most people are saying that they're not going to watch it, but
Yeah.
they know they're sitting right down on that couch, going to eat some snacks and watch that Super Bowl. Everybody knows it. So, as everyone knows, the Chiefs and Eagles did meet up. Was it two Super Bowls ago in Arizona? Final score of that game was 38-35 for the Chiefs. Me that call towards the end, I remember that holding call. I don't think that was a good call. See if you can reflect back on that. What do you think of that?
I think it was the right call. People are going to try and say that you can't be calling something like that in a big moment, but are we supposed to just throw the rule book out the window because it's the Super Bowl? Like by definition it was a holding penalty. And so I think the argument that rules shouldn't apply because it's the final 2 minutes of the Super Bowl is just a bad argument considering then you just lose the game. You have to have rules to the game, and I think James Bradbury pretty obviously held Smith Schuster on that, left side of the field.
Steelers legend.
And what?
Steelers legend Juju.
Steelers legend. I remember I was in Colorado for that game, and I wore my Juju jersey on the slopes before, pregame right there. So that was a pretty interesting time, Steelers Juju jersey. But I do think that was the right call back then. People can mad about it all as they want, but, you can't just get rid of the rules because you don't want the Chiefs to win, which is a fair, way of thinking. But I think it was the right call, unfortunately.
Yeah, probably was the right call. And remembering another thing that Eagles fans were complaining about, as I don't know if you guys know this, you probably do. It was 2 years ago. The NFL installed a new Arizona-grown grass into the stadium for the Super Bowl that no one's ever played on before. And Eagles fans are saying, now watch the Eagles with a real field. Did they just give another field to the Chiefs? Both teams.
Yeah, that was such a silly argument because both teams were playing on the same field. And if the conditions aren't good, you have to be able to adjust because they're going through the same exact thing. It's not like they it's not like they played on a different surface. I think that's even more of a ridiculous argument.
Yeah, I saw a tweet from an Eagles fan, first day of Super Bowl media stuff, the Chiefs can't get away with easy field or whatever. They're like, they gave the Eagles a real field, it's over. It's such a stupid argument because the Chiefs are playing on the same field as you, and their main issue was that the Eagles pass rush that year was so good. That's what got them that far, and then they had 0 sacks in that Super Bowl because they just kept constantly slipping. But Chiefs defenders were slipping, O linemen were slipping, even the kickers. I think on the first kick of the game, Harrison Butker got wiped out from underneath. Can't actually remember that, but that was probably pretty funny. And we're gonna get into Chiefs three-peat. This one's been being planned for a while. Well, we'll get into our predictions a little bit later, but I think what will happen if the Chiefs three-peat is NFL's going to post four-peat ? That's the first thing that's going to happen. They're going to say Chiefs complete the three-peat with a graphic of Mahomes and Taylor Swift probably, and then looking for the four-peat. But how do you think this defines Mahomes' legacy if he gets this three-peat?
Yeah, it would be the first three-peat since the Yankees back in the late 90s, early 2000s there. So it would definitely be something. It's never been done before in football. So I think it definitely helps Mahomes' case for the greatest of all time. Obviously, we have to see how the end part of his career plays out. But I do think he's definitely on track to be considered better than Brady all the time. 7 Super Bowls is obviously going to be miserable to see him beat if he does, but at this rate he might. At this rate he's on track. And I think a three-peat, which no one else has been able to do before, even with the team around him kind of carrying him, I still think being the quarterback, being the main centerpiece is very important. And I think that defines his legacy. If he can do that, he'll be the GOAT, a guy like Mahomes. But yeah, I know someone who's definitely a big Chiefs fan right now, and that's Heat owner Pat Riley, because Heat owner Pat Riley actually trademarked the term three-peat back in like the 80s when he was, I think, with the Warriors or
Not sure.
it might have been the Lakers. Someone three-peated, and he was in the locker room and he heard the term three-peat. So him being the financial mastermind that he is, he went out and trademarked it. So he's really hoping for a Chiefs Super Bowl here because I think the projections he would make from it was around $226 million on trademark royalties alone, which is insane. Yeah. So big Chiefs fan there. I thought that was a pretty cool, fun fact to throw in there to talk about here leading up.
Yeah, three-peat, if it does happen, like you said, I don't care if you don't like Mahomes, I don't care if you don't agree with the calls or think the game is rigged, you cannot deny greatness. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I root against the Chiefs every single game, but I do not. I acknowledge greatness. Mahomes is a great quarterback. He's going to be up there. He's going to finish his career either 2 or number 1 all time. This would be his 4th Super Bowl. I think he's like 28 or 29, not sure exactly, but 4 Super Bowls at that age, and if he can play a long time, he's not really getting hurt too much. If he goes on, wins a couple more Super Bowls, surpasses Brady, or even matches Brady, I think down the road he could be considered the GOAT. And if he wins this Super Bowl, there'll be a lot of discussion surrounding it if he's already surpassed Brady. But I don't think he's going to surpass him yet. Just got to see a couple more Super Bowls.
Yeah, I agree there for sure. Like I said, I think he's definitely on track, but not at the moment.
All right, you want to get into the score bug leak? I think that got leaked.
Yeah, so I was scrolling on Twitter, X or whatever earlier today, and the leak scoreboard popped up on my feed. We'll throw up a graphic here because I don't actually have the picture right now. But, every year the company that is airing the Super Bowl comes out with a new scoreboard. And I'm going to go out here and say the past couple ones have been pretty underwhelming. Thankfully, CBS fixed their font for this season because the one on the Super Bowl last year was horrendous. It was literally just like base Google Docs font to fit the thing. Like, it was horrendous. But I don't know if you've seen it. The Fox one is literally just a CBS scoreboard with bolded font italicized. It is horrendous. I am so upset because Fox has been known as the company to take risks with their scoreboard. They had it up in the top left, put it down in the bottom, different shapes. Video game looking one, this current one. I think they've always been.
What? I actually like this current one with Fox. Kind of sad they're getting rid of it.
They've always been known as the company with the best one, and now they're going for a knockoff CBS. Like, who thought that was a good idea? So that as a big score bug enthusiast, that really got my blood boiling, and was not a fan when I saw that. What do you think?
Yeah, whenever I see these scorebooks, most of the time, I don't like it at first, then I get used to it, like the Fox one. And then from the Rams-Bengals Super Bowl, I think NBC broadcasted that game. I hated it then, but it's one of my favorites now. I actually really like that one. But the Fox one is literally just CBS. As you said, bold, italicized. It's the exact same thing. It'll still be on the screen here, but it's just literally the exact same thing. You know what? I'll throw a side-by-side comparison up together. You can see the two. Just like, what are we doing? Have some creativity. As you said, Fox always takes the risk. They've had the current one with the weird, I don't even know what shape it is, but I really like that. So that's pretty much what I think on the score bug. And we're going to get into our Super Bowl predictions. How about you kick us off with yours? I haven't even heard yours yet.
Yeah, so my official Super Bowl prediction, I'm going with the Chiefs. Betting favorite, although 63% of the market, it's actually up to 68 now, is on the Eagles money line.
The Chiefs. What? Just because they don't like the Chiefs.
Yeah, they're on Eagles +1, but I'm trying to stick unbiased, and it's gotten me good on picks here. I think I'm 10-2 up to this point by picking what I don't want to happen. With that being said, I'm picking the Chiefs because I would rather Kenny Pickett be a Super Bowl champion than the Chiefs, which means the Chiefs are going to win. Professional betting advice here. No, this is not betting advice for legal reasons. Um, but the Chiefs are the favorite from Vegas -1, and they are minus. The money line is up for toss. Chiefs are at -115, Eagles -105. But yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs. I think Mahomes. I won't even say Mahomes gets it done. I say the Chiefs get it done because that defense is so good. I think with Chris Jones and Steve Spags calling plays, I think they're going to be able to slow down Saquon Barkley, which is going to help them slow down the Eagles' offense in general. But I do think we're going to see a vintage Mahomes moment in there. I think as we saw in was it the AFC Championship where he rushed for 2 touchdowns, even though he had 0
Yeah.
rushes during the regular season meeting versus the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to unlock Mahomes in ways they haven't used him yet. We already know they have play calls stashed on page 27 of the book that they haven't pulled out yet, like the corn dog play from last year. So I think the Chiefs are going to pull something out last second. I think it's going to be like 27-24, somewhere in that range. It's going to be close.
Be a good game.
It's gonna be mid to high 20s, and I think that's my official Super Bowl prediction. Chiefs 27, Eagles 24. What's yours?
I got the Philadelphia Eagles winning this Super Bowl. I think the difference in this game is Saquon Barkley and that defense, especially that defense. I'll start with Saquon here. Insane rusher, rushed for over 2,000 yards, would have broke the single-season rushing record if he wanted to prepare for these playoffs, and it seems to have paid out. They made a deep run in the Super Bowl. Saquon's looking healthy. I think it's the O-line that propels him. Saquon's an amazing back, no doubt about it, but he gets past, I've said this in previous episodes, he gets past that first line. He's gonna get past the second level really quickly. He can beat any corner and any safety in a foot race. So I think Saquon is the main difference on offense because last time they had Miles Sanders, who he was kind of carried by the O-line in that run. Miles Sanders not the greatest back, but now they have an elite back behind an elite line with an elite rushing quarterback. That's the offensive side. But the defensive side, the improvements are insane. This is only 2 years from the last Super Bowl. Their D-line was a bunch of 30-year-olds. They had a Son Reddick, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox. Those were the starters. I believe Jalen Carter was a rookie or just drafted the year after that. But now Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, what's that guy's name? Don't they have another Georgia? No, Jordan Davis, that's his name. And Hassan Reddick's gone, and Brandon Graham's coming back for his last game ever. He had a great career, but I think that youngness and that explosiveness coming from the D-line compared to all those 30-year-olds, it's going to make a real difference. And they're not playing on a bad field this time. Caesars Superdome provides the best artificial turf. And the second thing is their secondary. Starting corner 2 years ago was Darius Slay, James Bradbury, and Devontae Maddox. They still have Darius Slay, but they replaced those two guys with Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, two of the most electric rookies in the league. They can make a play at any time. They've been shut down all season. I think that gets it done. It's going to be a close game. Mahomes is going to have some vintage moments, but I think the Eagles will take this one not very closely. Going in the same range as you had, I go 31-28 Eagles.
Yeah, seems good. Maybe they'll win on a Hail Mary after the infamous Jalen Hurts Hail Mary attempt.
Jalen, my shoulder hurts.
Jalen, my shoulder hurts. Launches one downfield. That was pretty great. But yeah, good pick. I like to see that we're on the opposite side, so at least someone's right. What?
Always, someone's got to be right. We can't both lose.
Yeah. So that's our Super Bowl preview.
I got one more thing real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing to do with the Super Bowl, but send some respect. Brandon Ingram traded to the Raptors for Bruce Brown and a first and a second. The Pelicans season hasn't been going too good. I kind of hide the fact that I'm a Pelicans fan. Don't really watch the NBA, but I've had this Brandon Ingram jersey for like 2 years, and I'm not retiring yet. We're still going to wear it. 100 likes on the video, and I'll wear it to school for a week. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I want to talk about the Portland Trailblazers Linsanity run.
Are you guys? Aren't they already eliminated from playoffs?
No, we're only 4 games out of the play-in, and we're 9-1, best NBA team in the last 10. best defensive team, sixth best offensive team. The Blazers are getting hot at the good time, at the perfect time. We're seeing great development out of Scoot Henderson, Denny Avdia on one of the best contracts in the league, Tumani Kamara, some guys that, as a Blazers fan, never even heard of coming into the season. Well, that's because I didn't really watch last year, but looking good. I mean, they could be a sleeper team coming into that last play-in spot in the West, but you never know.
Yeah, more NBA news. Jimmy Butler was traded to the Warriors. Not not too familiar with the trying to think it was Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, someone else, and a couple picks. But I'm not sure how much I like this move for the Warriors. Jimmy Butler's kind of a me guy, not really a team guy. Him.
And then to go and pay him $60 million per year, what are you doing? Jimmy Butler is not a $60 million per year player.
I think he's living off that name value. I mean, he can get you some buckets. Him and Curry should be a fun duo, but not too much else going on there. More NBA news. Just got to roll it off here since we are at the trade deadline here. Mark Williams was traded to the Lakers for Dalton Knecht and some other guys. Lakers got a big man. We've been talking about it. They got their big man who may have allowed 42 points to Anthony Davis in their last game. And final thing, the De'Aaron Fox trade seems to have been working out pretty well for the Spurs through one game. As we said earlier, Fox is he's gonna run around Wemby and do a little whatever you said there. But Fox had 13 assists, 24 points. Victor Wembanyama also had 24 points, 13 rebounds, and they won that game by one. Not sure if you guys caught this clip, but Chris Paul told Wemby they were up by one with like 2 seconds left. He told Wemby to miss the free throw on purpose. He missed it, and they won the game off that. So Chris Paul's going to be a great coach someday. Hopefully for the you know what, Chris Paul to the Pelicans. We're going to fire Willie Green after the season. CP3 comes back home. Storyline ending, Hall of Fame coach. We're going to win the finals. New Orleans sports are down bad.
Interesting takes here. Only the finest takes here at Gridiron Across the U.S.
Yep. You got anything else to end us off?
That's it.
All right. Thank you guys for watching episode 15 of Gridiron Across the U.S., our Super Bowl preview. If you're seeing this, we'll clip farm it to TikTok again. Comment down your Super Bowl predictions. If anyone gets it right, who knows? Maybe you can be on the hotline whenever that will happen. And with that,
we're working on it. Don't worry.
We just had to get our Super Bowl picks out. And with that, we'll see you in the next episode.